Hello guys, welcome to the new video. And when I was testing the Skoda Kodiaq last year basically, many of you asked if I'm going to test the Volkswagen Tayron, its cousin. And here it is. I did a lot of work to be able to test this car, and here it is, the Tayron plug-in hybrid, as you can see by the flap on the front left side. So let's have a closer look at this sibling of the Skoda Kodiaq, a car that is about the same price as the Skoda Kodiaq and the same category. And yeah, so the Tayron of course lies in between the Tiguan and Touareg, being 4.8 meters long. We have a 2.79 meters wheelbase, and it's a good looking car. I mean, you have to really have to say that. And I think Volkswagen really tries to sell you this car with being looking more sort of premium than the Skoda in some areas, right? So let's have a closer look at the car. Just as the Skoda Kodiaq, also the Tayron boasts an excellent drag coefficient for the class of the figure 0.28. This is exceptional for a sort of big family SUV that the car is. And that is done by these massive air curtains here at the front. As you can see the tire there, so it cleans the airflow over there. Then all of this is sort of filled up, there is no opening in this area. Here, some other models, the ETSI or the ETSI particularly, they have the active flaps here. In the plug-in hybrid, you do not need them, so you don't have this solution. Although here in the lower part, you have this sort of plastic where they would otherwise they would be there, right? And then in the front, what is also interesting, we have the LED matrix lights, and there is also this connection that is backlit at night. So that is a nice and premium feature. Coming to the side of the car, we have these nice, what are these, 20-inch wheels or 19-inch wheels? 20-inch wheels with a tire of 235/45 R20. They have a really nice design. And in terms of suspension, the car is running typical usual McPherson and multilink at the rear. And here at the front, the car is running quite a good amount of positive caster geometry, which makes the car lean onto the outer wheel and affects the steering in a good way. Then here we have the wheelbase, 2.79 meters, quite a long wheelbase actually. I'm going to talk about the conception slightly later. Again, talking about the aerodynamics, I have to praise aerodynamically resolved front windshield, nicely curved, as you can see, really nicely curved. Also, this connection is very sort of nicely leaned and it's not sharp. And then we have the sloping roof line over here, prolonged by this tilted down roof spoiler, as well as this massive side spoiler. This is how it should be aerodynamically. It's a really well resolved car in terms of aerodynamics. And then the canopy of the car is also curved in this direction. So you can see all the solutions that they did to achieve the fantastic drag coefficient that the car achieves, right? Then we have the rear of the car, really nice lights and connected with the light bar. And of course we have the signature and also the backlit Volkswagen logo, as you can see. And this is the premium sort of feature in terms of design I was talking about, that Volkswagen is trying to differentiate from the Skoda. Yeah, so yeah, really nice. Let's open the boot, electrically controlled. Quite a fast boot, I have to say. I like that. And in terms of the boot capacity, we have 705 liters in this eHybrid variant, which is of course smaller because of the battery being over here, but it's still a massive, really massive and practical boot for your family needs. It is really nice. You also have the tow hitch in here, 12-volt socket in here, loads of hooks. You can fold down the seats from the boot, and I think this is a domestic socket. Yeah, you have a 230-volt domestic socket. So really good and practical boot. You also have a storage area over here. That's very handy. Two strong LED lights, double floor, wide opening, quite low edge for putting things in and out of. This is a really good and practical boot, I have to say. Now that we're at the rear, I also ought to talk about the geometry of the wheels. And the Tayron is running good negative cambers on both wheels, but he is running more negative camber at the rear wheel as well as a toe in for better agility. So this is how it is. And now let me show you how it is to be seated at the rear of the VW Tayron. Let me just unlock it. So here is the space at the rear. I hope you can see that. Really loads and loads of space. So let me step in and, well, you can see this is incredibly spacious. Look at this. Incredibly spacious, almost like in Skoda Superb that I tested last week. Massive amount of room for my knees. Extremely happy. Look at this. Extremely happy for my feet. This is something you don't see very often. And then also for the head. Look at this. Massive amount of space for the head. So this car is extremely well resolved in terms of practicality at the rear and comfort. You also get heated rear seats, third zone of the air conditioning vents, two USB-C connectors over here, and yeah, then the practicality here on the doors. So you have this sun cover over here, and you have a really big door bins. Look at that. You can fit a 1.5 liter bottle there, a speaker there, nice leather over here. So that's quite nice. And then another practicality, you get these sort of cup holders like that, so they are hidden, unlike in the Skoda. And it's a really nice sort of Volkswagen solution that they sort of you pull them out like this, and that's how it works. So nice cup holders, no load through access, I think, like in a Skoda. That is a small minus. And then here in the seat in front of you, these are for the phone and some other storage area over here. I have to also say the seating position is really nice and roomy. You can set it up. No, you cannot set it up, but you can move the bench, and this way, you see, I moved the bench, so now I have almost no space for my knees, but I increased the boot capacity this way. So that is absolutely fantastic. That's great. Right. Okay. And now we need to talk about the conception of the car. So, as you can see, the VW Tayron has actually quite an okay conception for being an SUV that prefers the family space. The driver is seated somewhere in the middle of the wheelbase, very slightly behind it. It's okay, but subjectively, you would wish even to sit even slightly more further rear. But it's the way it has to be, basically, in a family conscious car. So yeah, really quite okay. And then here is the interior that we're going to talk about slightly later, but it's of different design. And now let's have a look at the powertrain. And on the way there, let me tell you about the charging. So fantastic thing about the VW plug-in hybrid is that it has a new bigger battery at 19.7 kilowatt hours, and it's, of course, it's above and in front the rear axle. So it gives you the range of up to 121 kilometers in this car. And you have the AC and DC charging, which you open up like this. So you do have 11 kilowatts AC charging and up to 50 kilowatts DC charging. And this is crucial because you can get your car charged while doing grocery shopping in half an hour. So absolutely fantastic in this case. And now let's have a look at the powertrain. And so here it is. Of course, hydraulic lifters for the bonnet, nicely insulated bonnet as well. So that's good. And here is the powertrain, basically the 1.5 liter 1.5 liter TSI Evo 2 engine with the Miller cycle in this engine, and the inverter and stuff. The battery, the normal 12-volt battery, is in the boot, like that. So you have two power options in the Tayron. The one is this, is the lower one, 150 kilowatts. That means 204 horsepower and 350 newton meters of torque. And the 1.5 liter engine in this case has 150 horsepower, and then the electric motor, which is a part of the EDSG 6-speed gearbox, has 115 additional horsepower. So yeah, that's actually fantastic. And then if you want the more powerful engine, you go for the 272 horsepower variant with 400 Newton meters of torque, and in that case this engine has 177 horsepower and the electric motor still has 115 horsepower. And in terms of horsepower per ton ratio, this car weighs at 2016 kilograms, and that gives the car with this power option has the power to weight ratio of 101 horsepower per ton, which is not something special, but is actually very, very decent. And we can also have a look from the side. So here are the damper towers, and as you can see, the engine lies in front of the damper towers, but actually I have to say not as much in front as we are used to with VW products. So quite good for the weight distribution reasons, and the access in the engine bay seems to be really very, very good. The engine, of course, is mounted transversely. It's a normal thing, it's not an Audi, so that's what we get. And yeah, that would be about it to this car. It can tow, one other thing, with this powertrain it can tow 1800 kilograms braked trailer. So that's about it for the practicality, because you will be towing with this car, I suppose. But anyway, I think that would be it to the walk around of the VW Tayron plug-in hybrid. And now let me tell you more about the weekly experience with this car by sitting inside the car, driving it further down the road, and telling you more about the experience with the VW Tayron plug-in hybrid. Oh, well, good morning. Welcome inside the VW Tayron plug-in hybrid, and now it's time to basically summarize the experience that I had with this car. Let's just wait for these beeps to end, right? All right, so, and let me start up with the interior of the car, which is a different sort of interior to its sibling, the Skoda Kodiaq. And let me talk you through the interior. So you do feel the VW sturdiness, the VW quality in here. You have this nice soft touch bit of plastic which is covered in leather, it seems. You also have a synthetic leather here throughout the dashboard and into the door cards and the door handles, but the door handles themselves are plastic, but they are not squeaky, which is good. There is a visual simplicity to this interior, the minimalism. You don't have these smart toggles like you do get in the Skoda Kodiaq, which I have to say, in the Skoda Kodiaq I really love them, but you don't get them here. The only thing similar to them is this one rotating knob here in the central console, which manipulates either the volume or you press it and you can change the driving modes between eco, comfort, sport and individual. Which is great. Other than that, I have to say, adjustability in the steering wheel really large, which is fantastic. Also in the seat, the sitting position quite okay, sort of on the level, slightly above the dashboard, it seems to me. The seats are very nice, they hug you really well. They are the combination of Alcantara and the leather. They also have the driver's seat, not the passenger seat, also has this prolonging support for your thighs, which is fantastic. And then we can talk about the infotainment of the car, which is fabulous. We have fabulous quality of the cameras too, which is fantastic, so that's good. I like the interface, it's very easy. And yeah, you have all of the information you need over here. When you need to turn off the assistant, it's slightly different than in a Skoda. Here you need to do it through the screen. In the Skoda you can do it through the steering wheel. So you go here into assist, and here you have the list of the assist settings. You turn off the lane assist, attention monitor, drowsiness, speed warning, and so on. That's good. You also have ergo comfort seats, so you can have a massage seats. You have 3 programs of massage, which is pretty cool. They are heated, also the steering wheel is heated, so that's fantastic. You manipulate also the air conditioning through the display, which is not the most handy thing, but you do have these touch capacitive sort of buttons on the lower part of the display, which at least is good, right? yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then in terms of practicality, I have to say very good. Massive door bins for a 1.5 liter bottle. And here in the central console, you have either a storage area here with rubber mat, or you put it up and you open up to the space, to the cave of 2 wireless chargers and 2 USB-C connectors inside. Then further down here you start the engine next to the rotating knob. You also have this practical cup holder organizer, which when you put it away, you have a storage area over here. That's good. And then you open the armrest and it carries on. There is another storage area over here with a 12 volt electrical socket too. So yeah, pretty good, I have to say. You also have the head-up display, sort of nice, very nice design display ahead of you, the instrument cluster. So that's good, and I think that's about it to the interior. Let me start driving the car actually, because yeah, we need to talk about driving, we need to talk about many things. This is a plug-in hybrid car, and there is one thing that I want to show you, that I'm actually very happy that all of the Volkswagen cars nowadays, they have it. We just need to find somewhere somewhere calm and somewhere straight. So you put it into the ESC Sport. We have it in the sports mode, that's right, and the gearbox in the sports mode too. Hold the pedals, launch control active, bang. This is fantastic. Look, and you have the boost. You can see the blue light. That means we have the boost. That is amazing. This car is amazing. So yeah, this is the launch control on the plug-in hybrid VW Tayron. How crazy that with any VW product you can get the launch control, which has a DSG, of course. Amazing. So let me tell you more about the driving experience. So this is the basic sort of plug-in hybrid with 204 horsepower, 350 newton meters of torque, which consists of a 1.5 liter TSI engine Evo 2 with the Miller cycle and VGT turbocharger, variable geometry turbocharger. And here is the corner. Let me tell you more about the cornering very quickly. So the car tends to have front biased. It tends to be front biased, so it understeers quite easily. We are also sitting as a driver quite close to the front wheels, so therefore the weight distribution is more front biased than some other cars, let's say a Mazda. And therefore the car tends to have the onset of understeer quite earlier than some of its competitors, which is the same in the Skoda Kodiaq as well. But overall, I have to say the behavior was really quite nice. The car has good positive caster, good setup of the geometry, so it tries to lean onto the outer rear wheel, and yeah, it's actually okay. It has a nice bit of rotation because you have a toe in at the rear. So that's pretty cool. And now back to the engine. So we have, as I said, 204 horsepower. You can buy an even more powerful one with 272 horsepower and 400 newton meters, which has the same engine, only it's tuned to 177 horsepower. I have to say, in the sports mode, even this 204 horsepower feels enough, because the car has amazing aerodynamics of 0.28, which is top of the class, together with Skoda Kodiaq. And I have to say, it was really nice, both on the motorway, everywhere. For a big SUV that it is, actually really good aerodynamics, and it cuts through the air really nicely for a big SUV that it is. So that's what I like. And yeah, and then let's go again to the powertrain. So we have the 150 horsepower TSI motor, 115 horsepower electric motor. These plug-in hybrids are only front-wheel drive, and the battery has a big capacity of 19.7 kilowatt hours. And it is absolutely fabulous, this plug-in hybrid powertrain, because thanks to the route planning feature in the sat-nav, just like in the Skoda Superb that I tested earlier, these cars, they have amazing fuel efficiency if you put the destination into the navigation, because the system then decides how it's going to use the powertrain, when it's going to use the electric power, when it's going to use the ICE power, based on the elevation changes on the route, based on the traffic. So it's really clever. It's really much cleverer than the first generations, which didn't have this feature, and they just depleted the battery and then drove on the ICE motor. So this is fantastic. And thanks to this, I was able to do the whole week with this car with the fuel consumption of just 3.8 liters per 100 kilometers and the energy efficiency of just above 12 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And this is a mesmerizingly low number. Really fantastic. The car has a 45-liter fuel tank, which is a very small fuel tank, but it can do over 1100 kilometers with this consumption out of the fuel tank. So it's gonna save you loads and loads on fuel. Of course, you're gonna have to pay for the electricity as well, but it's not going to be that much if you charge at home. So just an amazing powertrain, even better than a diesel. Even if you buy the diesel, you won't get this sort of amazing efficiency that you get with this. So this is definitely the car to go for if you want the best possible efficiency with the VW Tayron. It is unmatched. It is absolutely incredible. And then with the driving experience, you enjoy other things with the VW. Nice, precise, hefty, really rather heavy steering, sporty steering. Well, I drive most of the time in sports mode. So yeah, quite a nice steering, I have to say. Very precise, very sharp, very fast steering rack. So that's good. Nice damping. You have these DCC dampers, which are very, very cool. So you go into the modes, then you go into the individual, and here you can set it up. In the stiffest setting, which is stiffer than the sport mode, they are really, really stiff. They don't allow much roll, only a slight bit of roll, and they are really, really nice. In the comfort mode, I have to say, I have to praise that they are really, really comfortable. The car is not floaty, the car is not bouncy. There is only this small rebound at the rear, which is a correct behavior. That's the sort of limousine-like behavior, which is as it should be. So I have to praise the suspension. It is really, really good. One other thing that this car differentiates from the Skoda Kodiaq, I think, is that you also have the exterior engine sound. So I have it now in comfort, but if I put it into sports and the car would drive on electric power, I would get the noise through the speakers. It would sound sort of sporty or dramatic. So yeah, this sort of little things is where it differentiates. Not only the design of the interior, you have more ambient lighting here, you have 4 zones of ambient lighting, but only this. And then the other thing is with the navigation. When you have the navigation, the adaptive matrix LED lights, they navigate you, so they show you on the road where you should go. The LED matrix, particularly in the night, this feature works. Yeah, so they show you where you should go, and it's just a fabulous feature. Also here in the navigation on the screen, you get a sign, you get these road signs, and you get it there which exit you should take or something like that. So that is really, really crazy good. Yeah, and then the charging capabilities. So 11 kilowatt AC charging, quite quick, and the 50 kilowatts DC charging on the fast charging station. So anytime I did my groceries or the coffee, I was there 40 minutes, and in those 40 minutes the DC charging charged the car to full, which is excellent. And even though it didn't achieve 50 kilowatts because of the low temperature, it achieved around 36 kilowatts of power. It was still really, really rather fast, which I enjoyed. Right? So yeah, this would be to my experience with the VW Tayron. I think within the class it's just about what you like. If you like a more sharper design, go for the Kodiaq. And if you like a more rounded design, more elegant design, and more ambient lighting, because you have the backlit front and rear logos as well, nicer animations to the LED light in the rear, go for the Tayron. Both cars are excellent. Both cars with the plug-in hybrid have this absolutely excellent feature of route planning, and you will be just very, very happy with them as a family cars with massive amount of space. They are just fabulous. So yeah, this would be it to my review of the VW Tayron plug-in hybrid. Well, and if you found this video useful, well, keep watching, keep subscribing, because more videos are coming on very soon, and I hope to see you in the very next video. In the meantime, take care of you and goodbye.